going to start by asking the question about how to structure the project. We're going to take 2022 for engagement, analysis, ongoing community input, and then beginning to formulate our recommendations. And then probably 9 months to a year into the process, we'll start with, preliminary recommendations and start moving towards a public, to a more formal package for a public hearing. That's where what that stakeholder process is going to be for, is to say, okay, we have a map now. But it's not a zoning map. It's sort of a high level framework map, because even within the low scale and the mid scale, there are going to be several zones most likely, as there are today. So there's going to be a whole mapping component to this again, over the course of the next year, of what specific approach is right in within these broad categories. But then there's also going to be the approach of, what design issues matter the most and that we really need to get right. And so we'll go forward with more open questions with these stakeholder groups. It's not going to undo the direction that the council just adopted, but there's so much specificity to be added within that framework, and so that'll be our starting point. Policies that the council adopted talk about how neighborhoods are different, and we need to study the different scale and design features of different neighborhoods, and not necessarily just put in place a one-size-fits-all package of standards. So one of the questions is going to be, what are the right design standards for your neighborhood? Is it, so that's one of the questions that we'll bring forward. What design features really matter? Because many people think, if you hear about design, they may assume that you mean architectural style or paint color or things like that. But our assumption is that the most important things are more about the placement of the building, the orientation to the street, the yards, things like that. But we're going to go forward and have that conversation with people. What design features matter most and the city needs to regulate? We'll ask a question about balance to people, because the policies adopted by council call for balancing a number of different important goals, including things like trees, making sure there's enough space for trees, making sure that we are not spurring demolition of houses that are there now, but trying to support the reuse of houses in the future. So how to balance those goals. There's a tremendous amount these policies could be implemented and create more housing or much less housing, depending on how those standards are put together. And other questions like, how big is too big? That's one of the big questions that people have talked about through phase 1, and we will need to answer that question through phase 2. How tall should structures be, and just how big on the lot should they be? Want to make sure to mention the affordability part as well, affordability and anti-displacement, because that was just I know you listened in on all those comments. A huge theme of these is, we want to make some progress there, not
Right.
create just high-end housing. Even if a person believes, any new housing is good,
Right.
well, we're working towards, creating a range of price points, and housing choices in each of our neighborhoods, and the standards have a huge effect there, and also the incentives that we can. So standards could cause costs to go up or down depending on how strict they are, how large structures are allowed to be. So that's a huge question, is the balance between limiting the size of structures, and the cost of structures is something that we're going to need to work through as a community. And then also, what incentives or requirements can the city package to try and get some dedicated affordable units in our developments as they happen? So that phase one was controversial and scary to some people. I'll just say it that way. Um, and that's the part that I personally want to try to work on through phase two, because I really believe that first of all, we want all of our Tacoma people, current residents, current property owners, and future residents and property owners too. We want all of them to feel welcome here and to want to stay here. Um, and so I want to just, and I really believe that there's this common ground between, if we can sit down together and have a collaborative discussion, to find how we can um, make our housing rules benefit the most people, but also, make sure that nobody is really negatively impacted. That you know we don't want to see um, anybody's property quality of life or the value of their property take a hit through this process.